Welcome to Shake and Bake Racing. Today we will be going over a track guide to the Red Bull Ring. Absolutely love this course. It's actually one of my favorites. Going down the straight here, what we're going to be looking for is the 100-meter board. I usually like to break 5 to 10 meters before it. Get over there on the curb so you have more room to turn in, so you can carry a little bit more speed down this straight. Very important to keep your speed up on this track because there is so many straights that if you lose that speed, you'll be losing a lot of time. Braking right before the 100 or right at it. Also, make sure to use the curb to give yourself as much room to accelerate and have a better turn in. Going down the back straight here, you just want to make sure to maintain as much speed. We'll be braking in between the 150 and the 100 board. I usually like to brake at the 125 basically. Gives you the ability to turn in and be able to be stable when coming in this corner because it's very easy to lose the back end. Make sure to use as much room as possible on that exit. Take up all the road. Same here, what you want to do is brake right before the 50-meter board, get it turned in. Make sure to be gentle on the throttle because it's very easy to go deep there. You want to brake right before the grass there to get turned in properly. And with these right here, eat up as much of the curb as possible just to keep that speed up to set the quick lap time. And going down to the final two turns here, I'll brake right before the 50, right around the 75. And my braking spot is when it goes downhill a little bit more than the rest to get turned in here. Once you get turned in, slowly accelerate through that turn to carry as much speed as possible. And that's the track guide for Red Bull Ring in as slow motion as I can go without driving myself crazy. This right here will be hot laps. I'm not trying to go for a record, but I'm just trying to show you at an actual race speed what you'll be trying to do. It's very easy on that corner to go wide or unsettle the car and lose the back end. So you want to make sure that you're being very smooth with the braking and the throttle. Also, when braking and getting on the curb, you want to make sure the car is already settled when turning in. And when going up or down hills that have knolls or crests, be very mindful of how you apply the throttle because it's very easy to lose the back end in Gran Turismo, and I'm assuming other games. When turning in here, you want to make sure you accelerate slowly through the apex because I've lost the back end there way too many times to count and lost way too many races. Coming through these corners right here, you want to make sure you don't go too deep because you will lose a lot of time. Also, be very confident when you're braking when you're headed towards the grass there. So when you turn in here, you can carry as much speed down this back straight as possible. Also, try to get the car turned in as soon as possible. I try to turn in at the 50 board. And right here, what you really want to focus on is just keeping that back end planted by not applying way too much throttle to begin with. And we'll be in a Group 4 car now. It's the NSX, the Honda. I absolutely love this car. One thing I love about it is just, I mean, when I was a kid playing Need for Speed, the earlier version of this car I just absolutely loved. So seeing the new version in Gran Turismo, I just love it. But the Group 4 cars are a little bit slower. So whenever you're in a daily race or challenge on the game, just make sure you pick a car that you like and has a lot of cornering speed. Especially with the Group 4 cars, it's very important to have a car that corners very well. From what I've learned in daily races, the McGann Trophy is a very popular car just because how well it corners. And it's very important to have a car you like. I personally dislike the McGann Trophy, so it's very hard for me to race my race, if that's what you want to call it. But one thing I love is having a car that will turn in, and this is for me, one of the cars I like to use in Group 4. It's very important to find your car to set good times. If you don't feel comfortable with the car, it's going to be very difficult for you to set fast lap times if you don't feel confident in it. And this happens to be one of my cars that I really like. So find that car that you like, so when you are racing, you're qualifying, you feel confident about it. If you are not doing great times, watch videos, or in Gran Turismo you can upload their Ghost. One thing I would say about using the Faster Times Ghost is try not to race it. I usually, what I like to do is watch the replay of what they're doing, and if I use the Ghost, I'll only use it for a lap or two, just to kind of get a sense of what they're doing when I'm following that car. Because what happens a lot of times is when you're using their Ghost, you're racing it rather than actually trying to set a time. So you're not focused on what you're doing or keeping your eyes ahead of the car and braking properly and applying the throttle properly. You're just trying to set a very quick time, and you make a lot of mistakes. Whereas if you're trying to learn from the information given to you by that Ghost or by that replay, I think it'll help you improve your times a lot by being consistent and just having a better feel of the car. As always, this is Shake and Bake Racing. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, like and subscribe. If you haven't, well, I guess that's a personal problem, but have a good day.